Ladies and gentlemen, every day we are faced with countless demands on our time and energy. People call, messages flood in, obligations multiply, and our hearts stretch in every direction trying to meet them all. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself, who am I giving my life to? Who gets my attention, my focus, my energy? Too often, we hand these sacred gifts freely to anyone who asks, without realizing that every minute we give away is a part of our life we will never get back. Allah reminds us in the Quran, by time indeed mankind is in loss, except for those who have believed and done righteous deeds and advised each other to truth and patience. Al-Asr 103 1-3. Time and energy are treasures entrusted to us by Allah, and how we use them is part of our accountability. Think about it. How often do we exhaust ourselves trying to meet expectations, please others, or chase people who don't truly value us? Each moment spent on distractions is a moment we could have spent on self-reflection, worship, personal growth, or meaningful action. Every conversation that drains your heart, every favor that leaves you feeling depleted, every commitment taken out of obligation rather than purpose, it chips away at your potential and your peace. Allah has given us life as a precious gift, but too many of us trade it carelessly for temporary attention or approval. Recognizing this is the first step toward reclaiming your power. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it is necessary. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught us through his example that even he prioritized his time wisely. He would focus on what mattered most, turning away from trivial distractions to fulfill the purposes Allah had placed before him. In the same way, you are allowed and required to protect your energy. Not every call, not every invitation, not every demand deserves a response. Not every relationship deserves unlimited access to your mind and heart. When you begin to prioritize what aligns with your purpose and faith, you create space for growth, peace, and the opportunities Allah intends for you. Allah also shows His guidance through the people who enter and exit your life. Sometimes a person withdraws, a door closes, or a relationship fades, and at first it feels like loss. Yet these are signs from Allah that your energy was being misallocated. Every person who respects your boundaries, adds positivity, and inspires growth is a blessing. Every situation that pulls you away from your focus is a test, a reminder, or a lesson. Trust that when Allah closes one door, He prepares another that is far more aligned with your path, far more beneficial for your time, energy, and soul. The transformation begins when you intentionally redirect your energy. Fill your hours with dhikr, with reflection, with work that matters, with people who uplift and inspire you, with knowledge that strengthens your heart. The moments you protect become investments in your life and your relationship with Allah. They prepare you for the blessings He has in store. By choosing wisely, by protecting your energy, and by trusting Allah's plan, you step into a life where your peace, focus, and purpose are no longer scattered but cultivated. When you stop giving everyone access to your time and energy, you are not closing yourself off. You are opening yourself to what truly matters. You are clearing space for growth, preparing for blessings, and learning to surrender to Allah's perfect timing. Every act of protection, every boundary set, every intentional moment is a step toward the life Allah wants you to lead, a life filled with purpose, peace, and divine alignment. Understanding the value of your time and energy begins with recognizing that they are not infinite resources. Every second you live, every breath you take, and every thought you entertain are gifts from Allah, entrusted to you as a responsibility. They are not merely tools for productivity or social engagement. They are sacred trusts that shape the quality of your life, the depth of your soul, and your relationship with your Creator. Too often people fail to grasp this, taking time for granted, squandering their energy on matters that leave their hearts empty, and forgetting that one day every moment will be accounted for. Allah reminds us in the Quran, by time indeed mankind is in loss. Al-Asr 103 1. This verse is not just a statement about procrastination or wasted hours. It is a profound warning that the careless use of our time and energy can lead to spiritual, emotional, and even physical loss if left unchecked. Time is the most equal resource given to every human being. The richest and poorest, the strongest and weakest, the young and old, all of us have the same 24 hours in a day. Yet the difference lies in how we choose to spend it. Every choice we make is a reflection of our priorities, values, and awareness. When we invest our time in things that draw us closer to Allah, in knowledge that elevates our soul, in acts of worship that cleanse our heart, we are investing in something eternal. When we give our hours to meaningless distractions, toxic people, or fleeting pleasures, we are losing what cannot be recovered. Recognizing this truth is the first step toward valuing your time and energy as sacred. Energy is equally precious. It is the force that drives your actions, thoughts, and emotions. Every interaction you engage in, every task you undertake, and every emotional investment you make draws from this reservoir of energy. When you allow it to be consumed carelessly, by people who do not value your presence, by conflicts that serve no purpose, or by pursuits that lead nowhere, you leave yourself depleted. A drained heart and mind are not only less effective in worldly matters, but they are also less capable of remembering and serving Allah. Your energy is meant to fuel your growth, your worship, your relationships that matter, and your journey toward becoming the best version of yourself. Understanding the value of your time and energy also involves self-awareness. It requires a deep look at where your resources are going and what they are producing in your life. Are you spending hours scrolling through things that neither benefit your soul nor bring joy? Are you constantly responding to others' demands at the expense of your own well-being? Are you allowing your energy to be sapped by negativity, gossip, or unnecessary drama? Each of these habits may seem small or trivial, but collectively they erode your strength, your focus, and your peace. Recognizing these patterns is crucial, because awareness is the first step toward change. Allah's guidance in valuing your time and energy is also evident in the way He commands moderation and focus in the Quran. He teaches us to be purposeful, to prioritize, and to guard ourselves against distractions that lead to loss. Every moment of life is an opportunity to worship, to grow, and to serve a purpose greater than yourself. The realization that your time and energy are limited and precious can be both sobering and motivating. It encourages you to act with intention, to protect your boundaries, and to invest in what truly matters. When you begin to understand that your time and energy are not yours to give away carelessly, you start to see life differently. You start to notice the moments slipping away, the people draining your energy, and the distractions pulling you from your purpose. This awareness plants the seed for transformation, prompting you to make conscious decisions about where your presence, effort, and attention go. You begin to view your life as a sacred trust, understanding that every choice carries consequences, and every act of preservation brings you closer to fulfilling the purpose Allah has entrusted to you. Recognizing how overextending yourself drains your soul and clouds your purpose is one of the most important lessons in life. Many people do not realize how much of their time and energy are consumed by obligations, expectations, and distractions that do not align with their true purpose. We often say yes to requests out of fear of disappointing others, out of a desire for approval, or simply because we have not yet learned to protect our energy. Every time we overextend ourselves, we give away pieces of our life that were meant to be preserved for what truly matters. This constant depletion does not only affect our productivity, it erodes our peace, clouds our judgment, and distances us from Allah. It is a slow, almost invisible drain, one that can leave the heart heavy, the mind restless, and the soul disconnected from its true source. Overextension often begins subtly. You might start by saying yes to small favors, responding to messages immediately, attending every social obligation, or trying to meet the expectations of everyone around you. At first it may seem manageable, even rewarding. People may praise your generosity or your helpfulness, and you feel needed, appreciated, or useful. But over time, the accumulation of these small compromises begins to weigh heavily on you. Your focus fractures, your energy diminishes, and your heart feels stretched too thin. When your soul is scattered across too many demands, it cannot remain connected to the divine or to your own true purpose. Allah created you with unique abilities, unique goals, and unique responsibilities. But when your energy is diffused, you are unable to fulfill them fully. Many people mistake overextending themselves as a sign of dedication or loyalty. They feel guilty when they refuse a request, and they worry that saying no will make others angry, disappointed, or distant. This guilt keeps them trapped in cycles of exhaustion, but it is rooted in misunderstanding what is truly righteous. The Quran teaches us that moderation in all things is a sign of wisdom, and those who restrain their anger and pardon the people, Allah loves the doers of good. Al-Imran 3:134. Restraint is not only about managing emotions, it is also about managing your life, your energy, and your focus. By recognizing when to say no, by understanding your limits, and by choosing to preserve your strength, you are practicing wisdom and protecting your soul. Overextending yourself also clouds your purpose. When your time and energy are consumed by things that do not serve your goals, you lose clarity. You may feel restless, frustrated, or unfulfilled, not because your life lacks opportunity, but because your focus is misaligned. The noise of too many obligations drowns out the quiet voice of your heart that is guiding you toward what truly matters. You may find yourself drifting, unsure of which direction to take, constantly busy but never truly productive in a meaningful sense. This is why Allah reminds us to prioritize and to act intentionally. Every moment you spend, every ounce of energy you expend, should be directed toward actions that honor your purpose, strengthen your soul, and bring you closer to Him. Recognizing the toll of overextension also requires self-reflection. You must observe the patterns in your life, where your time goes, what tasks leave you feeling drained, and what relationships consume more than they give. When you face these truths honestly, you begin to understand that protecting your energy is not selfish, it is essential. Just as a lamp cannot give light if it is constantly dimmed by misuse or neglect, your heart cannot shine if it is exhausted by demands that do not align with your path. Understanding this is the first step in reclaiming your life, your energy, and your focus, and it is a step toward living intentionally, guided by Allah, rather than scattered by the expectations of others. Learning to set boundaries without guilt, and prioritizing what truly aligns with your goals and faith, is one of the most liberating skills a person can develop. Many of us live with invisible chains, feeling obligated to say yes to every request, to be constantly available, and to please everyone around us. This behavior often comes from a fear of rejection, a desire for validation, or a lack of understanding of the value of our own time and energy. But Allah created each of us with a purpose, and part of honoring that purpose is protecting our focus and our energy. Boundaries are not walls built to isolate or reject people, they are guardrails designed to keep us on the path Allah has laid out for us. They allow us to invest in what truly matters, without being swept away by distractions, unnecessary obligations, or draining relationships. Setting boundaries begins with self-awareness. You must first understand your own limits, recognizing when your body, mind or heart is being stretched too thin. It requires honesty with yourself about what you can give and what you cannot. Many people feel guilty for acknowledging limits because they have been conditioned to equate saying no with selfishness or unkindness. However, the Quran teaches balance and moderation in all things. Overextending yourself or neglecting your own needs in the name of others does not please Allah. It diminishes your ability to serve Him, your family and your community effectively. By identifying what is essential, by recognizing where your energy is best spent, and by understanding the value of rest and reflection, you begin to build a life that is intentional rather than reactive. Boundaries also help you prioritize your relationships and responsibilities according to purpose and alignment with your faith. Not everyone who asks for your time or energy deserves unrestricted access. Some interactions uplift and encourage you, while others drain or distract. Learning to discern between these is crucial. When you align your commitments with what strengthens your faith, nurtures your soul, and moves you toward your goals, your energy becomes focused rather than fragmented. Saying no to the unnecessary allows you to say yes to what is meaningful. It is not a rejection of others, it is a commitment to your higher purpose, and a way to honor the trust Allah has placed in your life, time and abilities. Many people fear that setting boundaries will hurt relationships or make them appear uncaring, but in reality, healthy boundaries strengthen connections. When you are fully present, emotionally balanced and engaged in relationships by choice rather than obligation, your interactions become richer, more genuine, and more beneficial. People can sense the difference between a heart that is exhausted and one that is at peace, between attention given reluctantly and attention given freely. Boundaries allow you to give your best self to those who matter most, rather than offering fragments of your energy to everyone indiscriminately. Boundaries are also a form of self-respect, and an act of worship when guided by the principles of Islam. By protecting your time, focus and energy, you are better able to fulfill your obligations to Allah, to your family, and to yourself. You can engage in prayer, reflection, learning and acts of service with clarity and presence, rather than in a constant state of distraction or fatigue. Boundaries are not a limitation, they are a channel through which your purpose and your potential flow more freely. They teach you to honor yourself, to honor others, and to honor the guidance Allah provides in every aspect of your life. When you begin to set boundaries consciously, you also begin to cultivate courage and confidence. You learn to resist the pressure to please everyone, and to trust in Allah's provision. You realize that saying no to something that distracts or drains you does not diminish your value, it enhances your ability to contribute meaningfully where it truly counts. This practice transforms your life, creating space for focus, spiritual growth, and preparation for the blessings that Allah intends for you. Seeing Allah's guidance through the people He allows in your life, and the doors He closes, is a profound lesson in trust and awareness. Many times, we interpret the comings and goings of people in our lives as coincidences, mistakes, or even personal failures. We feel hurt when someone distances themselves, anxious when opportunities disappear, or confused when a relationship ends abruptly. Yet in every interaction, every departure, every shift, Allah is sending subtle signs that guide us toward what is best. He arranges our encounters, our separations, and our connections in ways that we often cannot immediately comprehend. When we learn to recognize these signs, we begin to see that nothing in our lives happens by accident, and that every relationship and every circumstance carries wisdom, designed to protect,
guide or prepare us. Allah's guidance is often revealed through the people we encounter. Some come into our lives to teach us lessons, to inspire us, or to help us grow spiritually and emotionally. Others serve as tests, showing us our weaknesses, our boundaries or areas in need of improvement. Some people bring joy, love and support, while others bring challenges that stretch our patience and deepen our resilience. Each of these individuals plays a role in shaping our journey. The Quran reminds us, and it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you like a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows while you know not. Al-Baqarah 2, 216. This verse speaks directly to the heart of our relationships. Not every departure is a loss, and not every arrival is a blessing unless seen through the lens of Allah's wisdom. The doors Allah closes in our lives are equally significant. When someone leaves, an opportunity passes, or a plan fails, it may feel like rejection, injustice, or bad luck. In truth, these closes are acts of divine protection. Allah knows the consequences of allowing certain paths to continue, the hidden harm that could come from attachment to the wrong people, and the distractions that might prevent us from fulfilling our purpose. By closing certain doors, He ensures that our time, energy and focus are reserved for what aligns with His will and our ultimate good. The loss or absence you feel is not arbitrary. It is carefully timed, calculated by a wisdom far beyond human understanding. Recognizing Allah's guidance also requires reflection and mindfulness. It involves asking yourself why a relationship is affecting you so deeply, why a particular opportunity feels so urgent, or why a certain person's absence leaves a void. When we step back and look with clarity, we often notice patterns that reveal divine intent. Some relationships persist because they nurture your growth, strengthen your faith, or align with your purpose. Others fade because they drain your energy, misalign your priorities, or distract you from your path. By paying attention to these patterns, you begin to understand that Allah's hand is always at work, subtly steering your life in directions that benefit your soul and prepare you for what is to come. Trusting in Allah's guidance means accepting that we cannot control every interaction or outcome. It requires surrender, patience and faith, that what is taken away is not punishment, but protection, and what is given is a blessing beyond immediate understanding. Each person who comes into your life is a messenger of sorts, carrying lessons, opportunities or challenges meant to shape your character and refine your heart. Every door that closes, every absence, every ending, is a reminder that Allah's timing is perfect, and that His plan is far greater than anything we can imagine. When we learn to see these signs, and understand the wisdom in people entering and leaving our lives, we are empowered to live with intention. We begin to protect our energy, prioritize meaningful connections, and surrender confidently to Allah's plan. Relationships are no longer a source of constant anxiety or distraction, but a reflection of divine guidance, a tool for growth, and a part of a larger, carefully orchestrated design. In this way, the people in our lives and the doors that close are not random. They are instruments through which Allah teaches us patience, discernment and trust, preparing us for the blessings that await when our hearts are aligned with His will. Transforming focused time and energy into acts of worship, growth, and preparation for your blessings begins with intentionality. Too often, people allow their hours to be consumed by distractions, obligations, or engagements that provide little value to their soul or purpose. Time and energy are among the greatest trusts Allah has given us, and how we allocate them determines not only our productivity in this world, but also our spiritual standing in the hereafter. When you begin to redirect your focus toward meaningful pursuits, every moment of your day becomes an investment in your growth, your faith, and your readiness for the blessings Allah intends for you. This requires conscious effort, discipline, and an understanding that your time is sacred and limited. The first step in this transformation is to identify priorities that align with your goals and with Allah's guidance. Not everything demanding your attention deserves your energy. Many people fall into the trap of responding to every message, attending every event, and fulfilling every request, leaving little room for reflection, worship or personal development. By assessing what truly matters, you can consciously choose to devote your time and energy to pursuits that nourish your heart, sharpen your mind, and strengthen your connection with Allah. This may include acts of worship such as prayer, dhikr, reading the Quran, or helping others with sincerity, as well as personal growth activities like learning, planning and cultivating skills that benefit your life and the lives of those around you. Focused time and energy also create space for reflection and self-awareness. When you are intentional about where your attention goes, you can step back from distractions and observe your own thoughts, emotions and goals. You become more aware of patterns in your life, areas that need improvement, and moments where you might have been giving energy to things that do not serve your purpose. This reflection allows you to recalibrate your actions, making conscious choices that align with your faith, values, and aspirations. By doing so, you create a life that is proactive rather than reactive, filled with purpose rather than chaos, and anchored in the principles that Allah has placed in your heart. Another important aspect is the cultivation of patience and discipline. When you redirect your energy from trivial matters to what truly matters, you often encounter resistance from old habits, societal expectations, or even your own impulses. It takes consistent effort to say no to distractions and yes to priorities that serve a higher purpose. This discipline is itself a form of worship, because it demonstrates your commitment to stewardship over the gifts Allah has entrusted to you. It strengthens your willpower, owns your focus, and trains your heart to recognize the difference between fleeting satisfaction and meaningful fulfillment. Each act of restraint, each moment of concentrated effort, is a step toward readiness for the greater blessings Allah has prepared. Focused time and energy also prepare you to receive blessings with gratitude and presence. When you cultivate your resources intentionally, you are not only creating value in your present life, but also positioning yourself to benefit fully from future opportunities. Blessings are often delayed or unrecognized, because our attention is scattered and our hearts are distracted. By investing your energy in purposeful actions and worship, you heighten your awareness, deepen your faith, and align yourself with the flow of Allah's plan. This alignment ensures that when opportunities arrive, you are ready to embrace them with clarity, patience, and gratitude. Finally, transforming your time and energy into meaningful actions strengthens your relationship with Allah and equips you for success in every dimension of life. The energy you preserve and redirect becomes a source of empowerment, enabling you to contribute positively to your family, your community, and your own personal development. Each deliberate choice, each intentional hour, and each mindful effort compounds over time, preparing you for the blessings that are waiting in alignment with Allah's perfect timing. It is through this transformation that your life moves from being consumed by the demands of others to being guided by divine purpose, paving the way for fulfillment, peace, and the realization of the plans Allah has in store for you.